Today we're going to look at section 2-2, solving equations by using addition and subtraction. So we're going to start with the basic rules of when we look at an equation, we always got to remember the equal sign. Okay, the equal sign is the balance beam. Okay, the balance. We got to keep between the two sides. We got to keep sides balanced, and it's just like a scale where if you take something off of one side to keep it balanced, you got to take it off the other side. Okay, so always keeping things balanced is what we're looking to do. So the rules, the addition property of equality. If the equation is true and the same number is added to each side, the resulting equation is true. So for the examples, we have 7 equals 7. If you add 3 to one side, you got to add 3 to the other side, and you get 10 is equal to 10. And it works for adding a negative. 14 plus negative 6 is 8, and then 14 plus negative 6 is 8. So, and that holds true for subtraction too. If an equation is true and the same number is subtracted from each side, the resulting equations are true. So 17 equals 17, subtracting 9 from both sides, again, remains 8 equals 8. So that's what we're going to do. We always want to think subtraction and addition undo each other. So in our cases, what we're going to look at is what we see. We want to do the opposite of what we see. So we have m minus 48. So what we want to do is think of inverse operations. Okay, addition and subtraction are inverse operations. So if I have a number m and I'm taking away or subtracting 48 and I get 29, I got to think, how do I undo subtraction? Well, addition is the opposite of subtraction. So to undo the subtraction of 48, I'm going to add 48. And what I do to one side, the golden rule of algebra says, I have to do the other side. So there we go. So the minus 48 plus 48, those cancel. So I'm left with m is equal to 29 plus 48, which is 77. So m is equal to 77. And to check, we can do a simple 77 minus 48. Doing the math, well, that gives us 29. Okay, and we'll do another check, another one over here. 21 plus q is equal to negative 18. So once again, now 21 is by itself. Now we got to look at what's in front of the 21. There's nothing in front of the 21, so it means a positive 21. So to undo a positive 21, I need to subtract a 21. And to do that, I do that to one side, I do it to the other. So I subtract 21. So then I have q left on this side because of 21 minus 21 is 0, cancels out, is equal to. Now, this is a double negative. So essentially, it's negative 18 plus a negative 21, so that gives me negative 39. So there's my answer. And I'm going to do this same thing, negative 39. Oh, and I got 21 out front. 21 plus. So now, we go back to our rules. Our signs are different, so 39, get rid of my shade here, 39 minus 21, I get 18, but the signs are different, and the absolute value of 39 is bigger, so my answer will be negative. So I get negative 18, and that is a check. So there we go. Okay, so now, just another problem. 142 plus d is equal to 97, so that's a positive 142, so I need to subtract 142. Subtract 142. Okay, and so I got signs are different, so I got to do a little bit of math. So 142 minus 97, and then my answer is going to be negative because the answer, or 142 is bigger, so my answer is negative, so I need to borrow here. So I get a 3 here, carry the 1, so I get 5, and then 13 minus 9 is 45. So I get d is equal to negative 45. Okay, and doing some check, 142 and plus a negative, so it would be minus 45. Subtract, then we get a 3 here, carry the 1, we get 7 and 97, and that confirms our result. There we go. Let's keep going. So now, solve t plus 10 is equal to 55 in 2 different ways. So what they mean is we could look at it 2 different ways. We can simply subtract 10 from both sides, which is 100% correct. That kind of looks like an 18. Let me fix that. Don't want that. And that looks like a 6. There we go. So we get t is equal to 45. And obviously 45 plus 10 is 55. So that's what we're looking at. The other way that they're talking about, what they're saying is we can actually add the opposite of it. So add a negative 10 to both sides. So it's the same way, but we're using adding the opposite, which we've learned in the past. So it's the same. The plus 10 plus a negative 10 cancel out, so I'm left with t. And then 55 plus negative 10 is still a 45. So either one is acceptable. Okay? So now write an equation for the problem, then solve the equation. So we're looking at what we did in the last section. A number, I'm going to say n, increased by plus 5 is equal to 42. There we go. So now we've translated, now we solve. How do we undo a plus 5? We have to subtract a 5. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. So we get n is equal to 37. And there we go. All right. So in the 14th century, part of the Great Wall of China was repaired and the wall was extended. When the wall was completed, it was 2,500 miles long. How much of the wall was added during the 1300s? So looking at our little picture over the side, we can see a visual representation that 1,000 miles was already done. And then they say, and added, the amount added. Do we know? No. So we're going to call that X. We don't know. So we have 1,000 originally there, plus some number, some amount added, is equal to 2,500. So we're going to solve for X. We got to get rid of that positive 1,000, so we subtract 1,000. And we're left with X is equal to 1,500. But now it's a word problem, so keep in mind, what do we need? We need a label, so we have 1,500 miles. All right.